Hi, my name is Emily Ng.
Hi, my name is Yaritza Gonzalez.
Hi, my name is Jalissa Arguez.
We're going to run the script in which a GUI displaying the amount of players is present. There's an option between 2 players, 3 players, and 4 players. We're going to go with 2 players. So we added a theme song, so whenever each button, either being 2 player, 3 player, or 4 player, was chosen, the theme song would pop up. We are gonna go to round.
Go.
So for our version of Farkle, we have 4 rounds. Each button will take you to a different round and a separate GUI for that round. So we'll go with round 3 for this. At the top of each page for the rounds, they have 2 buttons, one score rules and the other one's instructions. When you click the one for score rules, a table shows up. This table essentially tells you how the scores, and then the other one, instructions, tells you how to play. It also has an example at the bottom.
So on each round page, there's a section for each player. So this is section for player 1, and there's 5 buttons for how many dice you want to roll. So whenever a player starts their turn, they're gonna always start with roll all. Whenever they click that button, there's a sound of dice rolling in the background, and then this figure pops up with their dice amounts. So in this message box, they're gonna choose what dice they want to keep. So for this example, we're going to do 1 and 5. They can only put scoring values in here. So whenever they click OK, it will tell them the score for that roll. So for that one, it was 150. So they're going to put it right here in the text box next to that roll. So since they kept two dice, they're going to put a 0 in roll 4 and go to roll 3. So for this one, there are 3 dice, and so the only scoring dice is a 5. So you're going to put a 5, you're going to click OK, and it says you add 50 to your roll score. So now you're going to put 50 right here. So since you kept 1 dice, you're going to go to roll 2. So now both dice are scoring dice, so you're going to enter a 5 and a 5, click OK, and that score is 100. So now you're going to enter that next to roll 2. Since you kept 2, you're going to put a 0 in the roll 1 and go back to roll all. So for this one, the scoring dice are a 1 and a 5, so you're going to put that in here. And so you add 150 to that. So since you already had 150, it's going to go up to 300. Since you kept 2, you're going to go to roll 3 again. So for this one, the scoring dice are 1 and 1. You're going to click OK, and now you add 200 to that roll. So now, since there was a 50, you're going to have 250. So since you kept 2, you're going to roll 1, and it's a 5. So you're going to put a 5, and that adds 50 to your score. So in this box, you're going to put a 50, and you're going to go back to roll all. So for this one, the scoring dice are 5 and a 1. So you add 150 to that score. So it's going to go up to 450. Since you kept 2, you're going to go to roll 3 again. And for time purposes, we're gonna act like none of these dice score. So you're gonna put a 0, and that ends your turn. So the message box will say Farkle. You add 0 to your overall score for this roll. So now, since you're done, since you got a Farkle, you're gonna click Finish Turn, and it will add up. That button adds up all the totals from your 4 sections and displays it in this text box. And so whenever you're playing the game, now that player 1's turn is over, it's now player 2's turn. So they will click the Roll All button like how player 1 did, except for this, for the time purposes, we're gonna act like they already did all of this. So we're gonna say 100, they got 0, 150, 0, and 50. So we're gonna act like those are the scores that they got after they rolled all their dice and then got a 0 to get a Farkle to end their turn. So now again, they're gonna click the Finish Turn button, and it adds up their total, which is 300. So once the last player clicks the Finish Turn button, they're gonna exit from this screen, remembering the scores that they got. So it will take them back to the page where they get to choose their rounds. So after each round, whenever they come back to this page, they must enter their score that they got for that round. So for this example, we're gonna act like on round 1, the player 1 got 150, player 2 got 200. So round 2, we're gonna act like they got 100 and 150. Round 3, we're gonna act like it got 300 and 250. And round 4, we'll act like they got 100 and 150.
So once you're done entering all your scores, you click the Finish Game button, and it will add up all the scores. It also played the victory theme in the background for the winner.
Go ahead.
A message box will appear indicating which player won and a congratulations to them, and also an animation of fireworks will appear to celebrate their win.